Let's get started. So these are the pre-notes. We want to talk about graphing coordinates on an XY plane. So let's start with the x-axis. What is the x-axis? It's a horizontal number line. What does horizontal mean? If we say, have you ever seen the sun set on the horizon? What does that mean? Here it is. Sun setting on the horizon. The horizon is this right here. It's running left to right, and the sun is setting on the horizon. So horizontal means a number line that's left to right. Horizontal number line means a number line that's left to right. And that's what I drew right here on this little tiny spot. I did a number line running left to right. This is called the x-axis. The y-axis is a vertical number line. If you ask anybody that knows how to skate vert, what that means is they are skating on this half pipe and they go up in the air and then they go back down, and on the other side they go up and go back down. So vert means up and down, vertical means up and down. So the y-axis is a vertical number line. It's just the same number line going up and down, 0 in the middle, positive going up, negative going down. So that's the y-axis. Now when you put both of those together, an x-axis that's horizontal, a y-axis that's vertical, you get the xy plane. You get the xy coordinate plane, also known as the Cartesian plane, the coordinate plane. So what is a coordinate? It's just a location on the xy plane. It's a location on the xy coordinate plane. That's what it is. It's a location. It's also known as an ordered pair. Now, what do I mean by ordered pair? What is a pair? It means two. Order, they're in order. What kind of order? Alphabetical order. So a coordinate is going to have parentheses, and it's going to have two numbers in here. Your first number is going to be your x value. Your second number is going to be your y value. That's why it's called an ordered pair. It's going to be two numbers, a pair of numbers that's in order. The x first, the y second. A coordinate, it says right here, a coordinate is an x value and a y value written in coordinate notation, parentheses with a comma in the middle. Again, the first one's the x, the second one's the y. Now, let's think about the word origin. What does the word origin actually mean? Bless you. The beginning, right? The origin. Now, if we think about like the original 501 genes, what are they claiming when they say the original Levi genes? They're saying that they're the first ones, right? The original Coca-Cola, what are they claiming here, guys? Original. Yeah, they're saying that they're the first ones, right? Original, they're the first ones. Coca-Cola was first, they're claiming, and then after that, Pepsi, and then RC Cola, all these other colas came out, right? But when you see the word origin, that's really saying the beginning. And that's exactly what the vocab word origin is right here. It's the coordinate 0, 0, and that's where you begin when you want to start graphing coordinates. Okay, so we already know that this is our xy plane, right? You have your x number line that's horizontal. You have your y number line that's vertical. It's easy to remember because y points to the sky, right? What else? We also need to learn about quadrants. There are 4 quadrants in any xy plane. The upper right is the first quadrant. The upper left is the second quadrant. The bottom left, third quadrant. Bottom right, fourth quadrant. So it's kind of weird because it's actually going in counterclockwise direction. You know, clocks usually have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going all the way around this way. This is counterclockwise. So keep that in mind. First quadrant, second, third, fourth. Let's move on to giving an example of how to graph. So right here we have the coordinate 5, 6. We want to be able to graph it on an xy plane. So what we need to do is understand that 5 is the x value and 6 is the y value. So it's as simple as this. You go to 5 on your x number line and you go to 6 on your y number line, and that point will be the location 5, 6. Again, the origin means the beginning, and that's where they want you to start always. Start at the beginning right here. So if you want to go 5 on the x, this is the negative direction. You want to go positive on 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's positive 5 on the x, and then positive 6 going up here on the y. And that's how we get to the location 5, 6. So it's very important to understand how to get to these different locations. So we need to absolutely flawlessly know how to identify coordinates on an XY plane. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a couple of points on this graph. So here's some points I just drew on there. You don't have to draw this. This is just some activity for you guys to see how we're going to get to these different coordinates. So if I wanted to get to the location of the point A from the origin, what would that location be? Now, are you going in the positive on X or in the negative on X? Negative. Okay, so how many are we going on the negative? 2. So the X value of point A, here's my coordinate, here's my X, here's my Y. The X value is -2 because you guys just told me go 2 to the left. Now, if I do go 2 to the left and I go how much up? 1 up, so my Y value is 1. So the coordinate, the location of point A is really -2, 1. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about point B? And let me go with a different color. I want to put point B in red, the parentheses with the comma in between. So I'm at the origin. I need to get to point B. Do I go negative or positive?
Positive.
How many?
2.
1, 2. Now, do I go positive, which means go up, or negative, go down?
Negative.
Negative. So, wait. Let me do this. 2 on the X. That was positive 2 on the X. I might as well write down 2 on the X, because that's my X value on my ordered pair. And you guys are telling me you're going to go down. How many do I go down?
3. Negative.
3. Right. -3. That's right. So let's put -3 down there. And that is my location of point B. How about C? Well, I start at the beginning, at the origin, right? And what do?
Go left.
Go left, how many? 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is my X value of point C. -6 is my X value of point C. I said 6, sorry. So -6 is my X value of point C. And how about my Y value?
-1.
-1. Perfect. It goes down 1. So it's -1 for my Y value. So there's my location of point C. It's -6, -1. Okay, how about point D? So I start at the origin, and D's up here. Start at the origin. Do I go in the negative on the X, or in the positive on the X, or what do? I just stay right there. So whenever you're listing a coordinate, it's always an X value and a Y value. And of course, it's an ordered pair. You got to think on my X, am I going left or am I going right? You're not going anywhere from the origin. So what location is this on the X-axis?
0.
0, that's right. So let's put a 0 on the X. And now for the Y value, what do?
7.
7, right? So 0, 7 is the location of point D. Now the hardest one is point E because it's not at a clean point. Let's assume that it's halfway on each of those units. So I already set up the coordinate with the parentheses right there. Let's just go from the origin. I want to go this way. How many units to get to that? 1.5, right? So 1.5 on the X. So I wrote it smaller right there, 1.5 or 1.5, because that's what we did to get to this location. And now from here, how much do I go up? 3.5, perfect. So from here you go up 1, 2, 3, not 4, but only halfway up. So 3.5 is the Y value. And there's my location of E, 1.5, 3.5. So all of these coordinates that we're doing, they're just locations on an XY plane. So now that you've seen me do those coordinates, I would like you guys to practice. Go ahead and fill out A through F. Do it. If you are at home watching this for the first time, just hit pause, and when you're done, unpause it, and the answers will be there. So there are the answers. So for point A, to get from the origin to point A on the X-axis, you go 2 on the X, 7 on the Y. That's why it's 2, 7. To get from the origin to point B, you're going to go -4 on the X and +6 on the Y. And that's why it's -4, 6. To get to point C from the origin, you're going to go 2 on the X, -1, -2 is too much. So -1, -1.5. So +2, -1.5 is a coordinate C. the location of point C. The location of point D from the origin is -3, -3. The location of point E from the origin is 0 on the X and 2 on the Y. So that's 0, 2 for point E. F is 7, -5. 7 on the X, -5 on the Y. That is a location of point F. So I kind of try to rush through this and the next section in my previous class. I'm not going to do that here. We're actually going to do a little activity, the battleship activity. Okay, so what I want you guys to do right now is to put up some type of book or barrier or bag between you and your partner, because you're going to be playing against that person. All right? And what you want to do is not let them know where you put your boats. You guys ever played Battleship before?
Yeah.
Yeah? So here's a picture of the box of the Battleship game that I probably played when I was a little kid many, many, many decades ago. No, but yeah. So the way this works is you have, on this game, they give you like little plastic ships and you put them on a grid and the other person can't see them. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put something between you guys and you're not going to be able to see each other's ships. You're going to draw some ships on the grid that I gave you. So let's take a look at that. See down here, we have shots fired and your ships. So what I want you to do, let's look at the instructions. It says, draw 4 5-unit long boats horizontally, vertically, or diagonally anywhere on the graph, not overlapping. Okay, so check this out. Do not draw the same one that I'm doing, but down here it says your ships. I want to draw 4 5-unit ships. So I'm going to put 5 dots, 5 coordinates. So I'm going to go, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That right there is one ship of mine. Now, you're not supposed to let the other person see this ship. Okay? That's why you want to put something between them, something between you guys so you could draw your ship. And you got to draw 4 of these, 4 5-unit ships. So you might do that one. You might go right through the origin diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Do another one. Let's say 1 on the edge, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of people don't know about or don't try to fire on the edge. Maybe your boat's right on the edge. So you want to do your ships right now, 4 of them, and make sure that your partner doesn't see them, because they're actually not your partner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're actually not your partner. They are the person you're going to be playing against. So once you have your 4 ships, now hopefully you didn't copy down mine, but once you have your 4 ships, then we could go back and take turns shooting, right? It says right here, second instruction, one person shoots by stating a coordinate and marking the shot on the shots fired graph. That way you keep track of where you're shooting. So like, let's say I'm playing against somebody else. I have a book maybe right here on my desk. That way they can't see my ships down here. And it's my turn to shoot. I'm going to tell that person, how about the coordinate 2, 2? 2 on the X, 2 on the Y, and that's where I shot. Now, they're going to either tell me that I hit or missed without being able to see their ships. So like, let's say they tell me you missed. Well, instead of putting that dot right there, I'm going to change it to an X. That means that I shot that location, it didn't work. And then it's the other person's turn to shoot and try to sink my ship. So the other person is going to say, give me anything, Jezreel, any coordinate.
3, 4.
3, 4. Okay, so if we look at the coordinate 3, 4, from my origin, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, did he hit me? No, he missed. So I'm going to tell him that he missed, right? And then it's going to be my turn again to shoot, right? So let's say on my shots fired, let's say I say -2, 2, all right? If I say -2, 2, which is right here, -2 on the X, 2 on the Y, right here, -2, 2, and they tell me you hit me, all right? So -2, 2, I know that's a hit. If you do get a hit, you get another shot right after. So what would be a good shot for me to do if I know I hit him at -2, 2? You were saying 2, 1 over here?
Oh, wait, no.
Negative.
Yeah, -2, 1. That'd be a good one because their ship might be up and down, or maybe -1, +1. Maybe it's a diagonal ship, or maybe -1, +2. Maybe it's a horizontal ship, right? So this is how we're going to practice coordinates by playing this game, and you guys could see who shoots down who first, right? So if you do hit, you get to continue shooting until you miss, okay? So whoever sinks all the ships wins first. So let's stop this video right here and have you guys work on this activity right now in class. So once again, let's say Jezreel is my opponent and it's his turn to shoot. So like, go ahead and shoot at one of the coordinates where you know, I mean, like let's pretend you don't know, but shoot at me. -2. -2 and 0 would be what you want, right? -2, 0. So if he shoots, if he says, Salgado, I'm shooting -2, 0, what am I going to tell him? I want to tell him you hit me. And what am I going to do on my paper? I want to put an X right there because he hit me right there, right? And then let's say he takes another shot. So if you hit me, you get to take another shot immediately. You don't have to take turns. So what would the next good shot be?
-2 and 1. Or negative.
See, you're saying -2 and 1, you're going to miss.
No, -2 and -1.
-2 and -1, you're going to miss.
-2 and
-1.
-1 and -1.
And -1, perfect. All right, -1, -1. That's an excellent shot. And I would be like, you know what? You got lucky. You hit me. Now that you know that there's 2 hits diagonally, then you know the boat's going diagonally. So what's the next best shot to make? Oh, 0, -2. And I'll be like, dang, you hit me again. And let's say you go, oh, what's another good shot, Jezreel?
1 and -3.
There you go, 1 and -3. And you hit me. And then the last one, 2 and -4, you hit me, and I'd say you sunk my ship. Now that's barely one ship. That's barely one ship. So, and then you take another shot. If you miss, then it's the other person's turn. So we're going to be taking turns blowing each other up. Killing each other. Yeah. Okay. On the game. All right. So